and welcome. Thank you all for coming out today. My name is Kathy Berkey, and we are here to talk about the Big Table coming up 2 weeks from now on Sunday, September 11th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Iroquois Park. On the surface, the Big Table is a giant community potluck designed to bring people from all over Louisville together to share a meal. Underneath, it's a salve to heal and temper the polarization of our time. Judd Hendricks and I first imagined the Big Table in 2017 when we realized just how polarized our society was. Seeing the division of each side, advocating its own point of view, made us realize that we weren't going to get anywhere if we just kept advocating. We will just pull further apart. What we need is dialogue. We need spaces where we can see one another, where we can see our similarities, see our differences, and find the path that's between them. At the Big Table, we're not talking directly to the issues that divide. Instead, we're talking about the stories that are at the foundation of all the individuals at the table. We designed conversation cards to initiate dialogue and storytelling. One question that I really love is, tell about a time when you made your parents proud. For the most part, everyone has someone that they can answer that question about, and it reveals a moment in that person's life, which then is a window into who they are today. When we demystify difference, we can stop being scared of it. And when we're curious about difference, we can honor and celebrate it. The Big Table is a chance to break out of our bubbles, break out of our silos, and meet 2,000 other people across our city. I want to call attention to the date of the event, September 11th. While it turned out to be the best date for all the calendars that were involved, it was an opportunity that we welcomed. September 11th holds a heavy history for us all, and it gives us all the more reason to meet together and dialogue across difference. There are so many things that divide us: politics, religion, our neighborhoods, just the busy schedules of our daily lives. The polarization of our society can leave us feeling unsure about what to do about things to make them better. At the Big Table, we hope to provide an opportunity for people to feel empowered and strengthen our community. We're setting the table for everyone to come. We each bring something unique. We all belong. I invite you to join us at the Big Table. Now I would like to introduce you to Mayor Greg Fisher.
All right, let's hear for Kathy Berkey, co-founder, along with Judd. Give it up. Nice job. Well, this is one of the great events in our city, so I'm really glad that we're bringing it back in our quasi-post-pandemic world anyway. And this is the fourth gathering of the Big Table. So as Kathy said, Sunday, September 11th, Iroquois Park, which will be a beautiful setting then on that day as we're kind of in the early fall, 250 tables for members of our community. So we invite people from all over our city and all over the world to bring your dish and have a great potluck and just meet new friends and learn new things. And if it's like each of the previous ones, we've had people just leave with big smiles on their faces, usually full bellies as well, and say, we've got a great city here. So it's a wonderful venue to make this happen. Kathy and Judd were prescient when they started thinking about this in 2017. Already then, there were, rifts of disunity, disaccord in our country that was forcing people to kind of go to their corners as opposed to come to the center and come to the common table, if you would, where we could meet each other and really find that we're really not that much different from different folks. We have a lot in common. It's the human values that bind us of compassion and kindness and love, and things like skin color and political party. Those are all very secondary type of things. And the common table really brings that to the fore and points out the fact that we're all interdependent. We are in this together. And even if you feel like you don't have anything in common with somebody else, it could be that your kids go to school together. You're going to work together at some point in time. Your paths will cross at some point in time, and it's so much nicer when their paths cross with common purpose and unity. And that's what the common table provides us at the big table. Now, it's also a great event for one of the things our city is also known for, and that is a foodie city. Tremendous good eats at the big table. Most you'll recognize, some not so much, so it gives you the opportunity to adventure into some of the other cuisine that we see throughout the world that just happens to join us as well. So we ask people to bring whatever their specialty is. It could be curry, it could be kimchi, it could be cornbread, it could be much more than that. And then we're also adding music to the event, so while you're sitting there eating and enjoying food and you hear in the distance some beautiful music, you're like, what's that all about? Well, it's part of the big table. So we're inviting people who play instruments, whatever instrument from whatever part of the world, to bring them for after-dinner jam sessions. We'll have an area for musicians and an area for drums and for singing as well. Now, the event started as a way to welcome immigrants and refugees and recognize their extraordinarily vital contribution to our city. Louisville is increasingly a great global destination. It's been a top priority of my administration to become a more global city. And that's why we started the Office for Globalization in the first year I was in office. And we believe it's helped a little bit because our foreign-born population has grown nearly 40% over this last decade, and we see much of the growth of our community due to the growth in our foreign-born population, which makes us more interesting as a community, also provides more entrepreneurism as well, and prepares our kids for growing up in a global community, which is extraordinarily important. I want to thank Amos and Kevin, who run our Office for Globalization back here, for doing a great job here for the city. So let's give it up for those guys. So we want to welcome and break bread with people from all parts of our community. So this is where I do the cheesy part, whether you grew up in France or Fern Creek, Germany or Germantown, Pakistan or Parkland, India or Iroquois Park, the big table has a seat for you. Now, it also reinforces that we're a welcoming city and a compassionate city like we are. Second welcoming city in America, which basically is a standard for how you treat foreign-born folks, immigrants, refugees, and we're proud to have that distinction. And the Big Table is an official part of Welcoming Week. That's a project of the nonprofit Welcoming America that works to help cities across the country organize and promote events that celebrate immigration, inclusion, and compassion. In 2019, we had about 1,800 people attend the Big Table. Unfortunately, we weren't able to have it full bore after that because of the pandemic. So we want to get back on the track to break the world record that we're going for to bring people together at this big common table. So we like a challenge here in our city, so let's get after that. You can sign up and find out more at the Big Table event page on Facebook. This will be a great time for all to enjoy, and an evening of great food and conversation and music and great memories. Also like what's coming up this 4-day weekend, Friday through Monday, World Fest at the Belvedere, best free music festival in the region, best food in the region, best culture in the region. So the two really play off nicely on each other. So hopefully you can come to World Fest this weekend, and then we'll see you at the Big Table as well. There are a lot of people and groups to thank for getting the event off the ground, like the Paula Schoenhoff Family Foundation, Lean Into Louisville. Joy McAtee and Michael Meeks are representing them here today, and then the Louisville Metro Office for Globalization. So we're going to hear from them here in a moment. But thank you for coming out. Please come out and support the Big Table.
Now we'll hear from Judd Hendricks.
Well, thanks. It's so exciting again to be able to welcome you and invite you to come to the Big Table. One of the things that's really important about the Big Table is we have these individual invitations that we give out to people. And I want to encourage you, if you're coming, to specifically reach out to a neighbor. Reach out to somebody you may not know, a workmate, maybe somebody that's a little bit different from you, and specifically give them an invitation and say, I want you to come to the world's largest potluck. The individual invitation is a key way in which we invite the diversity of Louisville to come to Iroquois Park. I'm here to give you a little instructions. It's really simple. All you do is cook a meal, a dish for you and your family, the size of your family, that represents something about you, your culture, your family, and bring that to the big table. Show up at 5 o'clock or a little bit before 5 o'clock in Iroquois Park. The road right behind the amphitheater is going to be filled with 250 tables. We will find a table and you'll sit with somebody you don't know. And then we have this little fun game that we play using the Louisville conversation cards, which are specifically a deck of cards to get Louisvillians to connect with each other a little bit deeper. And so we play this little game at the table where you answer a card, and these are basic like human questions, like how do you express your creativity, or what's one of your favorite places in Louisville. And it's really amazing. In just a few minutes, people go from strangers to actually knowing one another. So after about an hour and a half of 2 hours sitting with a group of 8 people, you actually leave with a sense that I know these people. And I've connected with these people. It's interesting that from years past, we've had groups that have continued to meet just because of their experience. In fact, we even had a couple get married that met at the big table. So we can chalk that one up for. But this is really the power of the big table. We come not knowing each other. We come with our own stories, our own dishes. And the next thing you know, we know somebody that may be a little bit different than us. Now, the big table is not going to solve all of our problems, but it does give us hope that we can deal with the differences in our world. It does give us hope that we can see past our ideologies and our perspectives to actually connect with one another as human beings. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to agree when we get up from the table, that we're all going to vote the same, we're all going to be the same. In fact, that's not even the goal. The goal is that we could first see each other as fellow Louisvillians, as humans. And then we have a little more space for each other's perspectives. We can let each other be different, vote different, act different, because we know that we're ultimately neighbors. We're connected in a deeper way. That's the power of the big table. So I hope you'll come, bring a dish that represents your family, bring your story, and let's share that with each other and feast together at the big table. Thank you.
Now we'll hear from Amos Izarimanda. Sorry, I'm going to say that again. We'll hear from Amos Izarimana from the Office of Globalization.
Thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Judd, most importantly, for establishing the big table. I do want to recognize what Mayor Fisher said, how special it is that this event is happening on 9/11, as well as during National Welcoming Week, where communities across the country will be bringing together neighbors to build strong connections and reaffirm the importance of welcoming and inclusion in all places. I do want to really recognize the special thing that this event is happening right here in Louisville, because Louisville is not only a welcoming city, but also a place of belonging. I just want to share part of my story. Well, I came to Louisville in 2007 after 12 years in a refugee camp, and I had never known home. And Louisville has been that home for me. And I know it's been home for a lot of refugees and immigrants that have found a new place to live. And those are some of the stories that you get to hear at the big table. But I do want to also reiterate that it's not an event just for immigrants and refugees to come and learn more about our community, but even if you've been here for hundreds of years or your family has been here for so long, you get to learn more about this community and how special it is to be a place of belonging. And so I really want to encourage everyone to come to the big table. In Iroquois Park in South Louisville, where we have one of the largest immigrant populations in the city. And I really want to go back to the importance of just the food itself. I know that just the presence of food, it's a place to start a conversation, but also create curiosity of knowing about somebody next to you or have a new connection, A lot of foods that we eat are passed down through generations, and sometimes when you have a meal, it takes you back to a special time in the past or a time that transformed your life. And for me, it's always the case when I have no food from home that my mom has cooked. And I know being able to share that with everyone and share that story is special. So I welcome everybody to come to the Big Table on September 11th and join the wider belonging community here in Louisville. Thank you.
That's all of our comments for